Okay guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Now today we are going to be going through some really cool ARK 2 stuff to do with modding, because if you guys didn't know, modding is coming officially to ARK 2, not just for PC but for the Xbox and the PlayStation as well. This is one of the biggest things that came out with news of ARK 2. I am so excited to see what we're all going to create within the second game. It's finally time, but the actual people that made this possible for ARK 2, mod.io, have had a really cool interview with Joshua Hines, who is the mod community manager at Wildcard and live ops lead. We're going to be reading everything about this in today's video. Shout out to Josh, because Josh has been in the community for such a long time. I remember when Josh actually first joined, I think it was a long time ago when I was making videos and first got involved with modding and stuff. So yeah, it's really awesome to go through this, and that is what we're going to do in today's video. As always, if you're hyped for ARK 2, because I know we're getting closer and closer to big news, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new around here, supports the channel so much, and let's get in with the video. So mod.io tweeted saying, "We're thrilled to be the official cross-platform mod solution for ARK 2. We've recently had a chat with Survive the ARK's mod community manager about UGC, its importance, and how studios benefit from enabling UGC, and they go into lots of information about the second game. So let's go on to this right now and read this interview. So this is where Joshua gets involved, and it was, how does a game as massive as ARK utilize UGC and work alongside its creators? So with our recent announcement that mod.io will be powering the cross-mod platform support coming ARK 2, we thought it was the perfect time to learn more about the ARK mod community and its history. And who better to talk to than Studio Wildcard's mod community manager and live ops lead, Josh Hines, and his incredible hat. You guys know the Noglin hat. Have been involved with ARK for years. He turned his love for the game into hobby, creating mods, which evolved into an official position with Studio Wildcard. We took some time to speak with one of their top UGC advocates about how they work with their community and how influence design decisions and how it builds their talent pool, and just how important modding is in the ARK series. So something I've told you guys for years and years, and this actually came from a stream. Josh was actually just doing a stream with mods in ARK, and I remember asking a question, these things stick with you, saying, do any mods actually sort of come into ARK without us knowing? And Josh actually said, yeah, there is so much that Wildcard actually buy from the modders and actually implement it into the main game. And when going through this, it was quite cool to read this, because I haven't seen anything of Josh talking about this for a while, so you guys can see here. So Aaron, who's obviously asking the question, said, "Hey there Josh, how are you doing today? Let's get the basics out of the way. What's your title at Studio Wildcard, and what does your day-to-day look like?" So Josh came in and said, "Hello, I'm doing great. It's a nice day outside. I am the live ops lead and the mod community manager here at Studio Wildcard. In short, it's the responsibility of the live ops team to sort the bugs that come in by priority and make sure they get addressed. My day is mostly spent diagnosing and debugging issues, but we also assist with content development and setting up the holiday event." That is actually something I didn't know that Josh got involved in. And we all love the holiday event, so let's hope Fear Evolved and the Winter Wonderland and Thanksgiving event is going to be awesome this year. So as the mod community manager, I try and assist mod authors in getting them unblocked on their projects, prepare educational resources if I have time, maintain the dev kit, and manage mod related programs that we run, the sponsorship program and the mod contest. Now the mod contest hasn't been around for a while, but I'm sure it'll be back for ARK 2, and the sponsorship program has been around since 2017, and a lot of actually mods have made it through the official game. So what was your career path and how did you end up in this role? So that's quite the tale. I don't think we have time for that, but I'll try and summarize. I was working as a compliance tester and picked up modding in ARK for fun on the side. Now, this has actually happened with a lot of people in the community. So many people that have started just as a bit of fun, started to mod, creating maps. And if you have a passion for this, that's why I've always said in videos, really do get involved with this, especially at the beginning of ARK 2, because there's such a big road ahead. And there's been so many people that have created amazing things and actually got, in this whole world of ARK as their job just through a passion at the beginning. So I'd become somewhat of a known figure in ARK modding community by the time Studio Wildcard approached me about sponsorship. Later they offered me the mod community manager role. Several years later, and a lot of opportunities to prove myself, and this is where I am now. I certainly had to work hard, but it would be to try and gloss over the amount of luck that played part in my career, in particular how I originally connected with the studio. I suppose, there's a lot of people that have sort of started from the bottom, and and it is that thing that happens sometimes. It is sometimes luck what people find from you. Let's say you might create an amazing mod, or Studio Wildcard are always looking out for things in the community, but it's not like they're gonna watch this video. There might be someone, Josh might watch this video, but it's very, very rare that happens. It's always out of nowhere. They'll just post something and be like, oh, we saw this video, thought it was cool, and that sort of happens in the modern community too. So Aaron came on to say, amazing hard work plus right place, right time. We love to see community members end up employed by studios. Did you play a lot of mods growing up? Did any specific stand out to you? And then Josh came back and said, I did. I played with mods for the first time in 1999. That was when I was born. Homeworld was the game that instilled a love for both science fiction and programming. The mod that stands out most was actually just my first attempt at it. I had it changed all the fast moving scouts to have lasers, and then very quickly blew up my own mothership. It was a terrible result, but I was hooked. I also vividly remember playing with mods on Creatures 2, such a fascinating little game even now. Having your game AI use any sort of feature for the individual agents to learn and adapt at runtime is both really interesting and maybe a little terrifying to consider for most games. I remember downloading a lot of mods that tied into the brain chemistry features and for more of a stimuli for the individual AIs to play with. That is pretty cool. I never actually tried this game, but let me know in the comments if you did. Creatures 2 is a game that I hadn't thought about in a long time, says Aaron. Definitely a super interesting experiment in game design. Why do those certain mods stick out in your mind? So I consider these to be formative discoveries for me. It may not have been the intent of the original authors, but they help shape the way that I looked at technology and programming early on. They stick out in my mind as pretty key experiences for me on a personal level. So Aaron says, for sure, I think a lot of us have those moments that we can trace back to our love of games and creating. What mods have you created? Did you create for fun, to learn, to start a career, or all three? And Josh said, I did make some mods before I made any for ARK, but I don't think I ever released any of them. I was self-conscious. I saw all these amazing things others had made, and I was kind of shoving sand around in the playground for a long time by comparison. For ARK, I made some utility mods, trying to bring something like a class system for dinos by equipping them with some items, but when I really dug in, a project was called ARK Frame, which was intended to be a framework for other mods to build from as a common layer of communication and features. Unfortunately, ARK really was not built to support that kind of system well, so it quickly became unmaintainable. I started modding for fun and learning exclusively. A career in game development was originally not part of what I had planned on. It was quite a surprise to find myself getting deeper and deeper into this industry before I knew I had found myself a bit of a niche of combination of skills. So Aaron went on to say, we all start from somewhere, and pushing sand around is a good place as any. ARK is famous for having an amazing creator community. What do you think mods and UGC have done for ARK? And Josh said, to be honest, I can't even begin to quantify that. The studio has hired numerous people from the mod community now, some who have had significant influences in features, content, and systems. If the modding community never existed, ARK would be likely to be a very different game, which is so true. I have seen this game turn around through, and modding has kept the game alive, and that's why I was so glad to see modding getting such a bigger input and push within the second game, because if it wasn't for modding in the first game, ARK would generally probably not be as big as it is now. I could probably say that by 90% sure. It's been the reason we've been getting free maps. It's been the reason we've been getting S+ added in. It's been the reason we've been getting so many different features, and that's what I love about the modding community. So ARK has been going for over 5 years now, Aaron said. I think probably more like 7 years. Do you think UGC has anything to do with its continued popularity and success? And Josh said, I do. While on the other hand, not every platform has had access to mods. Mods can generate a fair amount of conversation about a game, which can in turn lead others to find it for the first time. Sorry about that. Having the ability for a wide variety of optimal content is certainly valuable to any game, but impacts of a mod community are not limited only to the content they create. So basically, you know, ARK has grown a lot from mods that have been made in the game. So, you know, there's been mods such as like the Godzilla mod added in. There's been mods such as like, you know, all different types of things that would have like sort of, let's say on YouTube someone makes a video on the Godzilla mod, or someone makes a video on a crazy sword or something like that from another game, or, you know, not from another game, but you know what I mean, something similar from a movie or something. A lot of people that didn't know about ARK before but was a big fan of Godzilla or something have seen this in ARK and said, where's this come from? Like, what is this? And I, you know, that kind of like brought so many people in, and they try out ARK and they play these mods themselves. And that's what is so great about modding in general. And a little story for some people that didn't know this about my channel. I've never actually said this before. If people know me in real life and have asked me a question, you know, where does my name come from, Loaded Crysis? I remember Crysis, the game, number 1 and 2, and I absolutely loved them. And I first saw it on YouTube for the first time, and there was a great white shark in the water, and I remember just thinking I just loved sharks as a kid growing up, and I just saw this game and I was like, I need it now. And I remember getting Crysis, and just all I cared about was the water and the sharks in it. And that's obviously one of the reasons why it can pull you in, just because of my love of sharks pulled me in to actually get that game. But the reason Loaded Crysis came around, I know this is about modding and it's kind of turned into that, is because I started playing Crysis 2, I think it was, and the game took ages to load. And yeah, I was playing Crysis, and because it was loading at the beginning, it started as Loading Crysis and then slowly evolved Loaded Crysis. Anyway, let's move back onto the video. Thought I'd tell you the little story of how that worked into there. So Aaron said, I totally agree. Beyond new content, UGC can also drive conversation. Do you think the creativity of mods for ARK have steered or influenced game design or content decisions at any point? And Josh said, yes, absolutely. The most obvious examples of this would be the official mod maps and S+ Structures Plus. These are community projects where we have purchased the complete works and efforts of the original mod author and worked them into the official game. Structures Plus was a mod that ended up purchased by Studio Wildcard and officially added into ARK Survival Evolved. Now, yes, console players, not all of S+ was added into the game. There was certain points that were added into it, but not everything. But yeah, I just thought that was the kind of thing that a lot of mods have actually been purchased and added in without us even knowing. Sometimes if it's big enough, it'll be like a modded map and come out as a, like, you know, free content, or it will just be added into the game as like new content, not really talked about modding type thing. So another example of how several members of the modding community, including myself, have found official roles here in areas of expertise over the years is that those individuals have had some direct and significant impacts on the design of the game. Thirdly, we'd like to iterate very directly with the community and take their feedback into consideration during development. Some development has been strongly influenced by the modding community, whether it was players playing mods directly or via them consuming mod content through videos and streams. Finally, having intentional mod support can also influence the game's design, such as when we've added major features and we want to ensure the feature is reasonably accessible to mod authors. So moving on to a little bit more of ARK 2 stuff. Aaron said, community is such a boon for games as community members often share great insights. When was the decision to include official cross-platform mod support for ARK 2 made? Was it a tough decision or pretty much a given considering what the ARK community has created? So Josh said, we view modding as a pretty key aspect of ARK. It's had a significant impact on the game, and this has been a repeating topic of discussion within the studio over years. I've even talked about this on my channel for years and years as well, guys. Like, we didn't know whether it was ever just going to come to ARK 1, but I just don't think the game was big enough in the sense of, like, it could handle all of that, kind of waiting for the next gen side of things. It could definitely happen with ARK 1 on the PC, I'm sure. There was quite a bit of debate about some of the hurdles that modding has to face when dealing with other platforms other than PC, but we knew it was something we had to overcome. Thankfully, partnering up with mod.io enabled us to overcome some of the last hurdles, and we're now looking forward to officially supporting cross-platform mods in the sequel, ARK 2, which is going to be amazing. And we're so excited to work along everyone at Studio Wildcard. What does the future of modding and UGC look like to you, and how does that relate to ARK 2? That's such a hard thing to imagine, Josh said. I believe that there are still changes to come within our industry, and that are largely going to determine how modding and UGC obviously work within the game as a subset of the industry continues to evolve. Whenever that's it continues to be some sort of frontier wilderness of experimental development, or that normalizes to the point that you might contract a career modder to come in and create some optional features for your game, or to assess your game's framework for how viable it is to create mods in. There are a lot of different shapes that the general creator community could still take. Very well said, Aaron said. There are lots of potential avenues UGC can take in the next few years. On a scale of 1 to Vin Diesel, how excited are you for ARK 2? How exciting was it to see your trailer shown in the Xbox/Bethesda showcase? So Josh said, I'm somewhere between leaf on the wind and don't blink on that scale. That is to say, I'm very excited about the future of ARK in general. Seeing the trailer go out was a big moment for a lot of people at the studio. Have been working very hard on ARK 2. And Aaron said, I can't imagine how amazing it must have been to see your trailer being fully debuted on the stage of that size to that many people. Definitely well deserved after all the hard work of so many people. Thanks again to Josh and all the folks at Studio Wildcard. Partnering with a studio that understands and appreciates the benefits of UGC and modding is a dream come true for us. Like your community and players across the world, we can't wait to learn about more with ARK 2, and we're thrilled to continue working together. So I thought that was a really, really good piece to read through there from Aaron talking to Josh there. I just think we are going to be able to create some unbelievable things within ARK 2, and I can't wait to see what this game is going to be like then. I really hope it's what we all imagine it's going to be. The hard work, the dedication that this team have been through is just something that I just hope is as successful as we're all hoping for. It is currently the 7th of September when recording this, 2022, and it is meant to be ARK 2 is coming out. We know that it's going to be the first half of 2023. We're not long away now. My estimate has been March 2023 for a while, and that could still potentially be true. And if it is, we're only 6 months away, but let's hope we find out in November at the Extra Life charity stream very soon. Thank you for watching, guys. Drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you in my next video very soon.